This is your Tour de Suisse 2024 preview. In this video, I'll be previewing the upcoming Tour de Suisse, which is an 8-day stage race starting on the 9th of June. This year's edition of the race starts in Vaduz and traverses the centre of Switzerland from north to south before heading west for the final 2 stages. This will be the 87th edition of the race, which is the final World Tour race ahead of the Tour de France, which starts at the end of June. The race opens and closes with a time trial, and outside of that, 4 mountain stages and 2 stages which lean towards a breakaway, with a total of almost 18,000 metres of climbing over the race. There isn't much in it for the sprinters, unfortunately, outside of the 2 time trials and potentially stages 2 and 3. The first stage is a very short time trial of just 4.8 kilometres and is about as flat as a stage could be. So early on in the race, and given the lack of distance, it's unlikely to have a huge impact on the GC battle, and is one of the only stages over the 8 days that is likely to favour the sprinters. Stage 2 is the longest stage of the race at 177.9 kilometres, and it features 3 classified climbs, albeit if a breakaway isn't able to form early on in the stage, this very much could be a stage for the sprinters, as the finish is relatively flat and comes over just 10k from the last climb of the day. On paper, stage 3 appears to be much better suited to the sprinters, as this is one of the flatter stages of the race, albeit still with 2,000 metres of climbing. There's an uphill drag to the line, but I suspect the sprinters will be pulling in lots of favours from their team to at least give them a try to do what they do best on this stage. Stage 4 is flat for the majority of the stage and features only 1 climb where the stage finishes up the Gotthard Pass. A climb which is 13.2 kilometres long and averages 7% gradient should really test the legs and open up the race to the GC contenders. The GC contenders should also have a good day on stage 5, which pretty much starts with the climb of Al Tanka before taking on Kari, which averages 8% gradient from the west side. The riders will then pass the finish line and ride towards Biasca and complete a flat loop before heading back the way they came to climb Kari for the second time of the day, but this time from the east side. Stage 6 includes even more climbing, and we will see the riders take on the highest point of the race when they climb the Nufening Pass, which is 2,400 metres in altitude, averages 5.5% gradient, but goes on for 24.1 kilometres. We will see another immediate climb on stage 7 as the riders will have to tackle the Col de la Croix, which will tackle twice on the stage. The final climb of the day at Villers-sur-Olon is another beast of a climb, at 18.5 kilometres long and averaging 6.8% gradient. Finally, on stage 8 we will see another time trial, and whilst the sprinters may have been waiting for this after a very tough few days in the mountains, unfortunately it's not a flat time trial. The stage starts at the UCI headquarters and heads back to Villers-sur-Olon for the finish. Looking at the GC contenders for the race, there is a solid cast of riders who will all be competing for a chance to win the yellow jersey. Last year's winner of the race, Matthias Skelmos, will be looking to defend his title and lead out Little Trek's efforts. Skelmos will be supported by Thibaut Nice, who has had a great start to 2024, winning stages at the Tour of Norway and taking the GC at the Tour de Hungary. UAE Team Emirates will be led by Joao Almeida, who will be looking to improve the team's second place finish last year. Almeida will have young Mexican rider Isaac Del Toro joining him to support his efforts. British rider Tom Pidcock will be riding the Tour de Suisse for the 3rd year on the bounce, heading up the Ineos Grenadiers' efforts and being joined alongside the 2019 winner of the race, Egan Bernal. 2021 winner Richard Carapaz will be joined by his EF Education EasyPost teammate Stefan Beisinger, who himself should be a good shout for the win in the TTs. Movistar will be pinning their efforts on Enric Mas, who will be looking to better his 4th place back in 2018. Outside of those names, the start list is a strong one, with the likes of Felix Gau, Jonathan Narvaez, Pello Bilbao, Pascal Askerman, Stevie Williams, Mark Cavendish, Keen Uterbrooks, Arnaud Delir, Stefan Kung and Lenny Martinez, to name but a few. The Tour de Suisse is a proving ground to the Tour de France, and so with a very open field, it should make for a very entertaining 8 days of racing, most of which will be uphill.